Evening, everybody. Happy New Year. Anyways, I've been going down rabbit holes past year, at least. I made a video stating that before. And I don't know if you guys watched the ball drop or not, but I did. And showed the last few moments of it. Some lady got up and sang that song, Imagine. Right? I'm sure to a lot of you, hey, it's just a song celebrating whatever, but people going down the rabbit holes, absolutely not. In fact, I would be willing to bet that it was a phone call letting those, I'll say, that are on the other side know party's about to begin. Now, I can't talk about one thing without talking about 100 different other things because they're all connected one way or the other. It's a bad thing about going down rabbit holes, not just one, numerous ones. Anyways, I was warned too. It's never just one. It's kind of like a tattoo. But anyways, so let's piece some things together. Let's say, we like to say we're awake or whatever. So let's say you're still asleep and you haven't been piecing anything together. All right. You haven't gone down any rabbit holes and just haven't had the time. Whatever. Let's start with the Obama administration. I like to pick on Obama because, well, why not? Everybody else does. But more importantly, he was in office for 2 terms. And during those 2 terms, I believe he was putting together a plan to definitely restructure things. You'll hear that from me again probably in this video. But anyway, so structuring up a plan, or devising a plan to restructure things. And so the election happened, Trump and Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Nobody thought Trump was going to win, not even Trump. So there was a plan put in place, and that plan was COVID. Okay? If you're like, oh man, I'm so tired of hearing, well, I'm tired of hearing about COVID too, but after the first lockdown of the 2 weeks, I started thinking, wait a minute, how's the whole world going to get sick overnight? Well, they're not. Okay, it's just not going to happen. You know, either read or seen or was told, I forget, but one of the first things Obama wanted to talk to President Trump about was in case a pandemic happened, what to do in case a pandemic happened. Well, that's a pretty odd thing to talk about, especially with one of the first things to mention, I would assume. I'm never going to be president, I wouldn't know, but that's definitely my assumption. Okay, so now Trump's in office. We all know what happens there. Media goes crazy trying to, well, one side of the media anyways, doing everything they can to just make the man look bad, blah, 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 blah. We all know the story. Just Trump this, Trump that, such a bad guy, such a bad person. All the time he was doing things that, if you look at his record, made America great again. But none of that matters at this point, because Trump did get in the way. People might have seen that post on Facebook. You know, I'm in their way, you know, protecting you, whatever it was. But he was in their way. And once you start going down some rabbit holes, or you can just kind of piece the pandemic together, you might start believing that, or at least have your mind open to that theory, if you will. So anyways, back to the point. Plan was set in place, like I said. Corona was going to happen with Hillary Clinton. All right. Instead, Trump became president. I believe Virginia kind of jumped the gun too during this time, either right before the pandemic or during, but they were going after the people's guns. I believe it was Virginia. It was one of those states on the East Coast. It's too much. Like I said, when I watched the ball drop, it just really kind of, if there was any doubts in my head that evil was running the world, it's gone now. But in these past couple of years, you might have heard things like New World Order, a reset, things like that. Probably didn't think nothing of it. Well, things have to happen for a reset, first off, and for a new world order. So you take the pandemic, they started printing money left and right. They're still printing money. They signed a bill, another trillion, something, whatever it is, dollars. People don't even know what's in it. All right, so that's going to devalue our dollar. That's just what happens when you have a bunch of something. All right, the value of it goes down. Say you're a card collector. If you're the last one with a, I don't know, Babe Ruth rookie card, well then that's going to be worth a whole lot more than if there's 50 other ones out there. All right, just face it. Then we have the open border. Okay, so now we have the probability of the value of our dollar going down higher. The open border just means people from all other countries are coming in. We can argue about not being vetted or whatever, but for a reset to happen, you need a de and re population. All right? COVID, open borders, vaccines, boosters, people dying, blood clots. Start putting all these together. So what did I cover? We got the border, repopulation, depopulation. Going down some rabbit holes, you may learn that they are trying to desensitize us to Satanism. One could argue in many different ways on how that may or may not work. Well, I'd just say look around and start with the latest riots that we witnessed. And, oh, you can't confuse that. Well, no. There's nothing good about running around destroying buildings and people's lives. There's not. The police were not right, for the record. That's if that wasn't set up. There are theories out there for that. It's fun going down rabbit holes. There's a whole lot out there. So, now that I got to desensitizing of Satanism, and if you're kind of questioning that, you can go to probably any local shoe store and find shoes with the devil on it. I know there's some rapper out there has his devil shoes, but there's also another brand out there with devil shoes. The same rapper, I think, has a video giving the devil a lap dance and all this other crazy stuff. All right, I don't listen to a lot of hip hop, R&B, none of that. I do like some older rap, but that's a whole another story. I'm here to defend myself and here to try to help you piece together a couple things and start waking you up if you haven't already got shaken awake yet. All right, so it is kind of late, guys. Like I said, Happy New Year. I'm still going. Everything kind of got triggered to try to make a few notes, try to cover everything. So, back to it. So yeah, this desensitizing Satan, you gotta, like, if you get on some of these streaming channels, there's a lot of witchcrafty movies out there. And speaking of that, I believe there's truth in movies, especially if you watch some of my prior stuff. But anyways, so you got witchcraft things out there, a whole lot of it, on the streaming apps. You got some of these streaming apps that are making fun of conspiracy theorists, the movies that are making fun of conspiracy theorists. Now, say here I go, can't talk about one thing without talking about another. Let me try to bring that together for you, to bring it all together. Making all these movies to make fun of people like me, right? But I want you to think here, just recently it was all over the news that the CIA was involved in the JFK assassination. Think about all those people that have been looking into that and all the theories they had and saying, told you so. I'm not the crazy one, you are. So that's really how I'm kind of looking at this video. You may look at me that I'm crazy with some of the things coming out of my mouth. I'm going to look at you like you're crazy for not putting it together yourself yet. It's been a couple of years now. I think we should all be waking up. Or maybe you like the way things are going. And that's okay. This is America. At least that's what we're told. And you definitely have the freedom and right to want and do that. But some of us don't like the idea. So anyways, desensitizing us to Satanism. Oh yeah, back to the movies. And so what they're doing, right? They're done it to us since we were kids. Put it in movies. See a man preaching on the corner talking about God is coming. They show him crazy hair and dirty, whatever. Just doesn't look like your normal person. He's crazy. Can't believe, man, that's crazy. Got to see where I'm going with this. making the movies, making us look stupid and blah blah blah, making fun of us, which is fine because I mean I can watch the movies and laugh at them because I know at least 90% of half the conspiracies they're talking about. So I won't name any of them specifically, but one of them was to say it's animated. First couple of minutes of it, I was dying laughing, but it is what it is. And of course, since the pandemic, they've had movies about, viruses and stuff before, but they're definitely coming out now. But anyways, so yeah, making us look like we're weird and all that good stuff. And they've been doing it since we were kids. Like I said, something you can look up is the MK Ultra, using TV and stuff to brainwash us. Right, we've got to buy these new shiny things. We've got to know what detergents to buy, what food to eat, all that good stuff, what music to listen to, clothes to buy. So, anyways, the woman gets up there in New York City where a lot of things are going on that I hear on the news. I don't live there, I can't say for certain. We all know the media has their angles. My only angle is to want you to put things together on your own. I want you to listen to me. I want you to do it. You'll believe yourself quicker than you'll believe a stranger. So anyways, the lady's up there singing. Now remember, I've given you the New World Order. I brought that up. It's been mentioned in the news. The reset, the open border, the currency, the inflation, devaluing of the dollar. You've heard the word resets. In order for resets, you're going to need a D in repopulation, open borders, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so she gets up, sings Imagine. I've heard the song before, never paid too much attention to it. I've listened to really good songs I've loved, never paid too much attention to it. Turned out they're probably talking about pedophilia. Whoops. My bad. But anyways, imagine there's no heaven. Imagine there's no hell. There's no country to die for, right? So basically saying, imagine there's absolutely nothing to believe in. Hey, that might be something you're into, not having to worry about judgment in the afterlife, all that fun stuff. But if you're desensitizing us to Satanism, you're wanting a reset, you're wanting a new world order, you want all these things, you could have sang any song in the world today as the ball dropped in New York City, but you chose Imagine. Now, in the world of conspiracy theories, there are no coincidences. So if you've heard the reset in the news, and you've heard the New World Order in the news, you might have even heard the cabal in the news, or the elite. All these things are connected. So like I said, I think it was a phone call. They're wanting to take away God. Because once you found God and you understand all this glory and all this beautiful, it's awesome. Either way, they take that away from people. They take away hope. They make you dependent on them. Just what they want. The lockdown, very first one, 2 weeks, should have proved that. We failed that test as Americans and as people. Put too much faith in our government. Now they know it. They grabbed us right where it hurts the most. Squeezed. Some places still don't want to let it go. I'm not seeing all the conspiracy theories out there, right? I'm not even telling you I'm in the right path, the right direction. But, like I said, there are no coincidences. Don't start all the way back to the beginning of time or whatever. Start to more current events so you can piece it together from today to then. Start with Obama. If you want to go back to the Bush, because the Bushes will be connected to some things in the rabbit holes, start with that administration. It's easier if you started at Obama, I think. Look at it with the idea that they might have had a plan put in place, had 8 years to put it in place. I had no doubt Hillary Clinton would win, because there's no way Trump could win. The guy wasn't even a politician. You can say what you want about Trump. and all that. And I know I keep going back and forth, and probably won't even leave on the point I want to leave on, but they did try really hard, push that man out, still trying to keep him from running for president. And I'm going to say it again, he wasn't a politician. Now, for years, since the beginning, we have repeatedly kept putting politicians in power. Career politicians, people who wanted to be a politician, in politics, into power. Things have changed in some areas, but I know the ghettos haven't changed. I know the structure on where people stand in the food chain hasn't changed. No, they still keep getting richer, and well, maybe we'll hit the lottery. So what I'm telling you is, we had a non-politician in the most powerful seat in our country. And a lot of you made it a point to get rid of him. Because if you keep sending alligators into the swamp, the alligator might change a couple minds, but at the end of the day, he knows the swamp. He's going to conform to that part of that swamp. Take a hunter, you put him in the swamp. He'll just learn how to hunt in the swamp. He won't learn how to conform to it. We're just looking to clean it out. So there might be better politicians out there for the job, maybe, maybe not. But I would definitely beg to differ to say we don't need politicians. We need what this country was founded on: people, regular people. So history wants us to believe. And that would be a whole nother video all in its own. So let's try to recap. If you haven't started waking up so you can piece these together. A woman gets out in New York, doesn't matter man or woman, but it was a woman. Sings Imagine, live TV for whoever was watching to watch. Of all the songs they could sing, I mean, why not the national anthem? I know some of you feel about that too. That's alright. Song Imagine, you may or may not have heard it on the news, New World Order. The printing of our money to devalue our dollar. The open border for a New World Order, or for a reset, which you've probably heard in the news. For reset, you need a and depopulation. We had the COVID. You had the vaccines and the boosters. Of course, another war going on that we will be involved in. The desensitizing of Satanism. And that's important with the lyrics to, Imagine. So, I believe it was a phone call. So I'm going to try to counter that phone call with my phone call. Start waking up some of the leftover sleepers. It's not thinking outside of the box. You got to step outside. Open your eyes. Question everything. It's an old saying. I learned it in the military. Forget who coined it. Believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see. Happy New Year, everybody.